Hey, my love, it's your good God sis, Nicole Melissa, and welcome to Thinking Out Loud, where I just think out loud. I call it like my journal, my video journal, where I'm just here to talk, talk it out with myself. So anyway, lately I have been thinking about Matthew 17:20 and what that really means. And I feel like, as my relationship with Yah continues to grow and get sturdier and stronger, I notice that He lets me in with more knowledge and more wisdom and more discernment. And one of the things that I've come to understand is he was what he's really saying behind Matthew 17:20. I think for the longest time I took the Bible and scripture and religious people and the church and the pastor and the minister and blah 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 literally, right? And in some cases it is literal, but in a lot of cases sometimes you have to take your religious hat off and put your relationship coat on. Do you know what I mean? So I always would read the Bible through a lens of religiosity. I just made that up. I think that's not a word, but if everybody else gets to make up words, why can't I? As long as you understood its context, then it's a word now, okay? So, when you take away the religious aspect of the Bible, which is difficult for most people to do because they've been told to do it that way for so long. But for me, I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone. I'm not telling anybody to do what I do or think how I think. I'm me, okay? You are you. But for me, what I've been gathering is that no, you are a human being that I created perfectly to have imperfect experiences, yet perfect, if that makes sense. Like He created this perfect existence for us to live in, and we are, through our eyes, able to see it as we want to see it, right? Everyone's reality is different, right? So when I was looking at Matthew 17:20, because like I said, as I continue to grow and mature in the spirit and with my relationship with Yah, the more He helps me see things differently. And again, like I think I said in one of the previous videos, that none of this for me draws me away. And I think that when I have conversations like this with religious people, because the reality is that, I don't know if you've ever known anyone like this, but they'll say they're not religious, but they're very religious, right? So they are steady in, in judgment of you. And listen, I get it. I think that those people are necessary. For the ones that are going to slap you upside the head with the Bible and tell you God does not want you to do that and you're going to go to hell if you do this and da da da. Listen, they are necessary. They play a massive role in the kingdom, in that they do kind of keep you on your toes in a sense. You know what I mean? Like keep you, maybe you do need to second guess what you're doing and why you're doing it. You know what I mean? The problem with it is that those people, whether they realize it or not, is that Satan attaches himself to those kind of that kind of communication that comes through as judgmental, because people just automatically go into offense mode, right? It's difficult to take it for what it was really worth, when you're busy taking offense to what somebody had said, because now you're like, oh, you see these, you know, these church folk, they're all this way. But anyway, they serve a purpose. Like I was saying, when I was looking at Matthew 17:20, Matthew 17:20 was one of those scriptures that caught my attention and resonated with me early on in my walk, in my relationship. And I always kind of gravitated to it, not fully understanding it. And then, like I said, as I continue to grow and mature, I gained deeper understanding and deeper wisdom behind what he was trying to say. So I really feel like God created this universe, right? And I feel like he created this universe to bend to our will. So I feel like the universe was created in benevolence, right? It was created in purity and goodness, right? And then we know what came we know what came and caused corruption. We know the origin stories of all of that. But I think that I mean, our Father knows all things. If we know that he's omniscient, I always say that word messed up. Hold on. I'm gonna get that word right. I know omnipresent, omnipotent. Yeah, omnipotent. Sorry, I hate not getting my words right. Anyway, we know that he is that, right? So then, of course, then we know that he knew what what the possibilities were. So I guess I'm saying that to say, when he says in Matthew 17:20, I'm going to read it to you now. It says, he said to them, because of your little faith, for truly I tell you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Why did he say that? Why did he say that? I know what the church folks tell you that he said, why he said that. You know, it's, of course, he's definitely talking to faith and about faith, and how, you know, we know that we cannot really communicate with our Father in a manner that is going to be productive for us in the ways we want it to be productive without faith. Sure, for sure. But I feel like he's also saying that I created this world to bend to your will. I created this universe to do as you say for it to do. So you say, so it will be done, right? And it just makes me think about, we create this reality for ourselves. Some people, not everyone. I know I've done this in the past, but I'm now changing my trajectory, and I'm video scribing this in a sense, right? So you'll see it. Changing our reality to meet what it is that we really want, because at the end of the day, we can have it and we can do all things with faith and belief. Now, for me personally, I want to do it while walking with him. I want to hold his hand while doing it, because I feel safest in my master's arms. But maybe that's not somebody else's reality, and they just want to do it on their own, regardless of whatever it is. I truly believe now more than ever that we can do anything. We can create anything. We can change our realities to suit what we really want. But why don't we do it? Why are we afraid? You know? And I think it's because we bought into these earthly things that we think that we need. But then that's exactly why he was saying to us, hold on, I think this was in hold on a second, let me find it for you. Okay, so I found it. I remembered it. It's 2 Corinthians 4:18. Okay. So 2 Corinthians 4:18 says, so we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Now, we know that this is we know whose domain this earth is. We know who this earth belongs to, because we know that he was fallen here and he's the master of this domain. And so, as the master of this domain, knowing the character of um, the malevolent one, why would he want anything that's good for us? Why wouldn't he set it up so that we would be fearful of everything, worried about everything, concerned about everything, believe that we can't do anything? Because he knows that if we believe, have faith, and are unafraid, we can do anything. We've been given authority to do so. It's part of the reason why he hates us so much.
Okay, sorry, I had to interrupt. So I was just sitting here. I'm back home now. I'm just in my bed, and I'm just over here thinking, and I was thinking about something that I was saying right at this part that I interrupted you, to say that please do not forget that Satan and his kingdom know that we can move mountains with our minds. They created this whole thing based on how they wanted to see it. And a part of their strategy is to ensure that we don't believe we can change things. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if we take the benevolent aspects of Yah and we put that to use, we can change this whole thing, if not for ourselves and another. Do you know? So anyway, I just wanted to just remind you of that Satan and his kingdom, they know we can move mountains. They be doing it all day. Okay? Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Is because of our authority. So I think what Jesus is calling us to do, what Yah is calling us to do, is to see the world as we really want to see it, and not to see it as our adversary wants us to see it. Do you know? Because he wants us to be concerned about climbing the corporate ladder. He wants us to be concerned about having X amount of dollars in our bank account. He wants us to be concerned about, who is, just everything that is going to keep you fearful, and everything that's going to keep you anxious about what God said not to be anxious about, right? He said, don't worry about tomorrow. He said, I'm giving you your daily bread. So that's today. Tomorrow will worry about itself. And that's also why in, what is it, Matthew 18:3, where he tells us that we need to be like little children. Why do we need to be like little children? Because little children live in a fantasy world. They live in make believe, right? Make believe. So when you make believe, you are pretending to be someone that maybe you're not. You're probably, you're more creative in that zone, and you're less afraid in that way of thinking. So yeah, I just feel like we've been, the moment that we are birthed into this world, the first thing that we R is afraid. First, and one of the first things that we're taught is to be afraid. And I think that at least for me, I know that I'm coming upon a time in my life where I'm just less afraid. I'm less afraid to say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, I'm starting to see that this is a fictional world that I can make nonfiction if I so choose. If I believe and have faith in a thing, it can be done and will be done. So it's a matter of, what are you having faith in? What are you believing for? Right? So I feel like I'm probably going to leave it at that right now, and I'll revisit this in a later time, because it's something that's been on my mind. But yeah, I just feel like we have to rid ourselves of the fear, and we also have to rid ourselves of, let me not speak to anyone other than myself. Nicole, you have to rid yourself of the fear, and you have to rid yourself of um, doubt and wanting anything other than what is right for you, right? So it's like, it's not about looking at other people and seeing what they have that you don't have just yet, and or believing that, because you're not in this position, then it's just not good enough. The reality is I can do anything I put my mind to. I can have anything that I really want. And my motto is that I want what's best for me and at least one other person. Because I feel like, bonus if you want what's best for you and a community, you and your nation, you and this world. We can keep making it more broad, but if we just think about ourselves and at least one other person, like, I think that you're onto something. Because ideally, you don't want to get to heaven's gate alone, do you? At least I don't. I want to bring some folks with me. So the best way that we can do that is to just break free from these chains, these fake restrictions, these things that tell us that we can't, when in actuality we can. And I think that if we were to come together as a people and realize that we can do all things through Jesus who strengthens us, we'd be better off. We really would be better off. So I don't know. I am going to live my life in a different way, um, going forward, and we're gonna see what comes of it, because all I'm asked to do is believe. I'm just called to ask. I'm just called to believe in what it is I'm asking for. And I'm just gonna, and of lately, over the last, I would say probably 2020, late 2025, and through into now in 2026 and beyond, I see the world differently. I don't see it like how everyone else sees it. I see it as an opportunity for whatever. And then once you realize that, like, everything that you're striving for is not even real anyway, it's real because you made it real. Like, grasp that. It is only real because you made it real. So why not then just make everything you really want real for you? Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. I'm just I'm just out here making my life here the eternal, the not the temporary, not the eternal. This temporary part of life that is fleeting. Like, think about it. We only live, like, the oldest person on earth nowadays will only live into, say, maybe 120 years old, because God said that's about it for y'all. Um, but the average person might live until their 70s. That's not a long time What are you doing with that dash in life? You know, that 19 such and such until dash, that dash, and then your death date. What are you doing with the dash? So I don't know. I'm making this dash suit me because I can. So, and if somebody happens to be watching this, make your dash suit you because you could do anything you put your mind to. I would just highly recommend that whatever you put your mind to doing, that it includes helping someone else. And if we do it that way, it's blessed. You know? Anyway, that's it for today's journal entry. Can I speak today? Entry. That's it for today's journal entry. I will be back next week with some more thoughts. So, in the meantime, in between time, I love you, Minute, and thank you for joining me. We're at Thinking Out Loud with Nick Mal.